even though he's taking the place of Johni Broome. When you look at it from both sides, these are two teams that can get you points and can get you flaws throughout the season. I think they will continue that. Sorry about that, squad. I was accidentally shut off the video. Unfortunately, I was talking about this game between Auburn and Kentucky. Auburn's going to have a good season. I think they will continue. I think they'll make a run in the tournament next year when they get enough people back. They haven't had any injuries yet. Their only injury was when Johni Broome got hurt against Georgia. That's the last opponent they had played last week was Georgia. They played well. I think Kentucky will have a lot of difficulty defending. I think they're going to have to defend Johni Broome exceptional. They're going to have to get a lot more points than what they've had the last two seasons against him. I think they're going to have to play exceptional throughout the game. I think they're going to have to continue to play like they're playing right now. They're up there for a standing, but they're number one right now. I think they will continue to have that strive to justice and how they continue to, like I said, they need to continue that. And you guys will probably ask, why is Kentucky not in the top 10? Well, they're not. Well, honestly, they had two losses. One to Alabama, which was last week, and then one to Arkansas. So that really pushed them down in ranking. So they've got to get back up. And they got to play Auburn. And Auburn is probably one of the best teams in the SEC right now. In terms of defense, they play exceptional defense. And on offense, they feed it to the post. They have a lot of that just between Pettiford, Chad Baker-Mazara, who's terrific, Johni Broome, Dylan Cardwell, Miles Kelly. They have a lot of those guys that can shoot the ball, and they will do it anywhere from they can feed it into the low post or they can shoot it out for 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. You have to defend basically the entire game. And that's going to be tough for That's going to be tough for Kentucky since they were down 3 starters last week and with Alway fouling out in the second half against Alabama. That will not be good. If he comes back this week and has a much better game, then he will. But they were limited in points against Alabama because of how good Alabama had played in the second half and how they turned it around. And Mark Sears had a great game against Kentucky. So that will be a challenge for Kentucky to face a really talented Auburn team who came off in a great win against Georgia. Texas Tech and Kansas. Hunter Dickinson has been playing well the last couple weeks. I don't know if he'll come back and make it as strong. Josh Harris has been fantastic. I think they will have to keep him going throughout the season. Unfortunately, they're going to have to do something. They've dropped at least 2 games in a row. They lost to Kansas State, which is not good. You can't lose to them. Texas Tech only lost to Iowa State by a point, and that was in overtime in Lubbock. But they're in Lawrence at Allen Fieldhouse, so I think it will be a monster crowd in Allen Fieldhouse when Kansas is at home. So I think it will be a great game to watch. But I think Texas Tech brings home a major victory in Allen Fieldhouse and runs Kansas off the court. I think Kansas has had a great season, but it will depend on how Kansas defends. If they can defend a good J.T. Toppin. Hunter Dickinson's been fantastic as well. He had a great game last week against Oklahoma State. Unfortunately, it'll depend on how they get closer. They'll have to do something defensively, and hopefully they can continue this path to success. Next is Seton Hall and St. John's. Rick Pitino's a great coach. Give him extremely good credit. He beat UConn one day, and he beat UConn, and that's the style he's been playing. He's been a fantastic atmosphere to the way they've been playing. So I think Rick Pitino and his squad get the job done at home and take care of Seton Hall. So that will be a good game to watch at 1:15 on CBS. LSU and Mississippi State. LSU has not played well. They lost to Florida, which is not good. You can't lose. Florida is really good, so I'll give them all the credit. But they had a great week. Honestly, if you're looking at this team, I think Mississippi State wins. They've turned their season around. They beat Texas A&M at home, so that will be a good turn, and Humphrey Coliseum, so that we'll see what happens. Then Food City Center in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Alabama. It's one of the oldest rivalries in history. I think Alabama will win, but it'll depend on how Rick Barnes and his team turn it around. They had a great win last week against A&M, so they're coming off of a good win. Alabama's coming off a big win against Kentucky, so that will help. Both of these teams are really good, but I don't know. I don't know how you're going to defend Mark Sears and, of course, Zakai Ziegler. So we'll see what happens. But honestly, I'm going to have to go with Alabama. They have not shot the ball well, but they shot the ball better last week against Kentucky when they had time to score and get points back and make it difficult for this team to get back to. So we'll see what happens, but you guys will let me know in the comments, and hopefully you guys can give me a better idea of what I'm missing on this. Another thing, Cincinnati and Houston. I watched Houston. I watched the second half, the last bit of Houston and Iowa State. With L.J. Cryer and Emmanuel Sharp, their guards are really good. I think Kelvin Sampson has put together a great team. Houston has played exceptional. They will probably win this game at home. They're back at home again, so we'll see what happens if they can get to those high rankings in this couple weeks before before the conference tournament starts. So we'll see what happens. Missouri and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt came off a major win last week. So if they do well, they will come off a major win and get some points back. I think they will. They'll have to do something over the edge. Like I said earlier, they'll do something better than just that. Honestly, Vanderbilt had a great win last week, so they'll be all right for success throughout the season. So I think they will do better this week than they did. But Vanderbilt came off a major win against Ole Miss. Missouri came off a good loss to Arkansas, and that will help Arkansas play better. They got South Carolina, which South Carolina is 0-11 in conference play. When you look at Edu Thero, he's been fantastic for them. He's averaging 16 a game. Big Z, he had a great game, but the defense has let them down this season. So, but overall, back to Missouri Vanderbilt, I think Vanderbilt wins, but it's going to be a tough go. It's going to be a tough handle at home. If Vanderbilt wins, then that'll be a big win for them. If they can beat another AP top 10 team in the country like Arkansas did. They had their third win of the season. Pitt or Louisville? I'm not going to go Louisville. I think Louisville is going to play well at the KFC Yum Center. I think they're back at home. They're 14-2 this season in ACC play, so they're going to have to do something. I think they will win. Honestly, they will come off another big victory if they can beat Pitt. Florida State and Duke. Duke has been fantastic. You can't deny it. With Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, Kanai Malawach, Sion James, Isaiah Evans, Tyrese Proctor, all of those guys are having a fantastic season. They played extremely well against Illinois. Had some great plays on offense. They're an offensive team. They're really good in the low post. Con Knipple is terrific. I think Cooper Flagg, with the season he's had, I think he will be Player of the Year, National Player of the Year if he does. But it won't be a point for them to get back in this game. I think it'll be a tough go to see who makes it. But overall, just a great game for both, and I think they had a great atmosphere to say, like I said, Duke's going to have a terrific season. Florida State, I don't know. Florida State on the road in Durham. I think the Cameron Crazies are going to go nuts when they see Florida State come in and watch and play them. But I think Duke has a favorable matchup They have Miami this week, so they got to take care of Miami, and then they got to take care of, and then they have to play a good Florida State team. So we'll see what happens, but I think Duke wins at home. Georgetown and Marquette. Marquette did not play very well last week. I haven't seen these two teams in action. My only pick for this game is Georgetown. Georgetown will probably win. I don't know. I haven't watched them play. Texas A&M, Florida. Texas A&M has been fantastic. Has not been a good team to root for. They've struggled. The teams that have struggled, they've beaten is Arkansas, of course. They beat them at home. And then the other two teams, they lost to Tennessee last week. Now they got Florida. Florida is going to be a tough go. If they don't do well against Florida, Florida had a great win against, I don't know who they played last week. I don't remember who they played. No, they played LSU last week. Walter Clayton Jr. has been a stud for them. I think they will all do well this year. I think they will probably make a run in the NCAA tournament. I don't know. That's probably not going to happen for them, but you guys will let me know down in the comments and see what you guys think, what this team can do. And then, of course, Arizona and Iowa State. Iowa State played extremely well, but they were shorthanded against Houston. So I got to go Arizona in that game. Arizona, Caleb Love has been terrific. They have great players. A lot of those guys will probably win a couple more games. And then the last two you guys can ask. I'm going St. Mary's, and then I'm going BYU at 9. So, and of course, Arkansas against South Carolina. They hopefully will get another victory. I hope. Fingers crossed. I'm a huge Hog fan. So, Arkansas has turned it around this season. They've done a much better job of getting wins. I hope they do. Big Z did not play very well last week against Missouri in their win against Missouri. His defense was not good. He gave up 2 dunks in the low post. Arkansas needs to defend the post better, and they also have to defend the perimeter. They've given up too many easy 3-point buckets in the first half. They didn't do well. They were down by 7 at the half. They've got to do better than that. Arkansas needs to defend the perimeter. John L. Davis needs to sit. Brazil has not shot the ball well this year, which is annoying. I felt like they're going to have to do better, but we'll see what happens next. But Arkansas will beat South Carolina. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, squad. See ya.